Hi everybody, this is Angela Murphy. Most of you should know who I am. I'm the infection control nurse here at Canton Christian Home. Just wanted to kind of go over some things. I know that most of you have been using the infection screening and the antibiotic timeout assessments under the assessment tab for anybody who gets an order for an antibiotic, and I kind of wanted to go over and clear up any gray areas that there might still be as far as these forms go. The main purpose is to provide, first of all, the infection screening gives us all the documentation that we need to justify using an antibiotic for that person. It's going to ask you any number of questions about whatever symptoms they may be having, the typical things that go along with McGear's. McGear's and Loeb's criteria, if you're not familiar with those, they have a set of criteria that have to be met for that infection to meet, to justify use of an antibiotic for that person. The idea is that if we make sure that they absolutely need an antibiotic, we use the right antibiotic and we use it for the shortest amount of time. And this is what all of the antibiotic stewardship stuff is about. So it'll ask you a lot of questions, respiratory symptoms, if they're having any pain, that goes along with having any UTI, which is our biggest issue, and I know that you're all familiar with that. Our biggest issue is that not only that we maybe not that they have don't have those symptoms, we just don't have the documentation of it. So then when we go back to review and say, did they meet criteria, I can't say that they did because it's not documented. So we really need those things documented. I think some of our providers are putting those diagnoses in their order. So if you can make a follow-up note to, that they've made these statements or made complaints that they're having burning or pain, suprapubic pain, it tells you kind of what symptoms we're looking for that it would take to meet the criteria to justify the use of the antibiotic. And then once you answer all the questions and you save it, that second portion of it, it says proceed to the next tab to view the criteria analysis. It will tell you right there. You don't even have to review the symptoms. It will tell you right there whether they've met criteria or not. And then you can save and lock it. If they don't meet criteria, that's okay. But we need that documentation to show that they didn't, and then we can go back to the doctor, and that's where the antibiotic timeout comes in. You're going to do the antibiotic timeout 48 to 72 hours after the start of the antibiotic. And same thing, it's going to ask you for all the information, what the order was, any symptoms that they had at the onset, any symptoms that they're having now, and then you're going to get a hold of the physician or whoever's on call and tell them everything that's going on. Look, they're on this antibiotic. We're just doing a timeout to review. Do they need it? Here's what their lab said. Here's what their symptoms are. And then it's up to the provider to say whether they want to continue that antibiotic or not. If they want to, that's fine. Even if they don't meet criteria, the provider can choose to continue that antibiotic. But we need documentation, and that's something we've been cited for in the past, is that we did not go back to that provider and say, hey, they didn't meet criteria, do you want to DC this antibiotic? And like I said, they can say they want to, and we just document that we contacted them, we told them all the facts, they still wanted to continue it, and then we document. Or if they wanted to change the antibiotic, we would enter that in too. Then you can make a note down here to say anything additional that you want to say. Now we do, and you guys can go in and look at it under the infection control tab. You can see any of the current antibiotics or infections that we have going on. When you enter an order for an antibiotic, you're going to also, I've got a canned order or one of those template orders. I actually just have one in for the antibiotic timeout, but I've been just opening that up and then re-entering, changing it to say infection screening, because the infection screening you're going to want to do right away. And if you're the one entering the order, you go in and do the infection screening. You don't have to enter an order for the infection screening. That should just be done. But then you want to put an order in for an antibiotic timeout to happen 48 to 72 hours after the start of the antibiotic. Now, if you can do it on a Monday, you know, push it to Monday. That way we're not trying to call somebody that's on call over the weekend that's not going to have any idea about the person or their orders. But make sure to put that order in. That way somebody knows to follow up. When you enter that order, though, for the antibiotic, it's going to pop up to ask you if you want to initiate a case. And that case is going to go in the antibiotic or in the infection control tab. And you can do that. Sometimes there's already one open. I know I've had that pop up. I think, I can't remember now what it popped up after, but it came up, you know, and the case had already been opened, and I could just link it to that case. If you're not sure, don't open the case. I'll open it later, or whoever the infection control nurse is at that point, they can open that later if you're not comfortable. But you can certainly go ahead and worst case scenario, we delete one of them out if there happens to be more than one open. We just close it out and say that it's a duplicate, so no problem there. If you have any questions or if there's something I haven't explained, hopefully this makes it a little bit more clear, but I feel like it wasn't 100% clear that this antibiotic timeout is expecting that you are calling the provider and reviewing and confirming, yeah, they want to go ahead and continue this antibiotic. If you have any questions, let me know. I would be happy to explain anything that I haven't already. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.